that it's not so simple and not so clear to everybody else. And it's not about the political opinion you have. And this is, I can agree, there is many different approaches to the same result, and sometimes we can discuss about it. And it should be a discussion of knowledge, a discussion of sharing ideas, and this is a good discussion. But when we are facing systems that indoctrinates hate, that differentiate between different people because of their race, because of their origin, because of their religion, when we see those things unfold in front of our eyes in these modern days and times, I'm just feel to myself like we have to fight it. We have to stand up and show what is right. We have to be the ambassadors of truth. We have to be the ambassadors of the good, because first of all, I believe that God trusts us to do so. And second of all, I believe that each and every one of us will feel the best satisfaction they can have for fighting for that. I encourage you to learn from our story. I encourage you to search and learn by yourselves and stand up for what is true, what is right, because we cannot do it alone. We are sharing our story as part of it, but we want you to complete it. We want you to help us and stand in front of this evil that sometimes seems to grow in places that it shouldn't be there. I want this country, America, and I want Israel, I want the Western world to be as it is, a place of freedom, a place of expression of opinions, a place that people can prosper and grow, a place of good education for their kids. I don't want it to transform. I want to raise my children in a better world, not in a worse place. And I want you and I ask you to fight for it.
Well said. Thank you so much for that. So Sapir, after this whole journey, what would you say to the group that's here tonight to just give them something to walk away with that you think is really important for them to hear?
When I came back from the captivity, I remember that sometimes I went to my room and I just locked the door and I cried, because I didn't know how can I help now when I'm out of the captivity. And I asked myself in what I believe, and just one word came to my mind, and it was unity. I remember that I realized that this war, it's not supposed to be a war between Israel to Gaza. It's supposed to be a war between all the world together against the terrorist organizations. And I decided to go to many communities, and I spoke about it. I spoke about unity, but I didn't know what the meaning of that. Does it say that we have to think the same, or we have to have the same worldview? One day I had a dream at night, and in this dream I was in the gym, and I had a bag on my back. I make squats with that. And one of the trainers came to me and he said that he wanted to train with the bag, but he couldn't lift it up. So we tried to call to the other trainers, but nobody could take my bag. So he asked me, what you have inside? It's so heavy, and how you can hold it? I told him that this bag full of my whole lifetime experiences, so just I can carry that. And when I woke up, I thought about that every one of us has his own bag, and we cannot switch the bags, but we can help each other to carry that. When I came back to Israel, when I came back after the captivity, I met so many people, Jews and non-Jews, all over the world. And these people helped me and helped his mother and to the whole hostages family to carry our heavy bag. And I think that this is what we need to continue to do, to help each other in order to change the world and make it to a better place.
Wow, thank you. We do have a few moments for questions from the audience, and we have just a handful. Thank you, Len. Let me just start with Sasha. Did your captors know that you had served in the IDF?
Well, if you remember at the beginning when I just came to the first apartment where they put these sticks in my leg, they interrogated me. I actually lied a lot about a lot of things. I don't know how I managed to find this courage and wisdom to do that, but I said that Sapir is pregnant and she's my wife. I said that I am working as a server, like in a restaurant and not as an engineer in Amazon. And I also said that I served in the army, but I served in the logistical force. Now I can say that I served in intelligence. I didn't serve in logistics. I am an engineer. I'm not working in the restaurant. And Sapir, now soon to be my wife, but she is not ready.
Your wedding scheduled for?
בעזרת השם.
March.
I remember at first when I got to my senses after October 7, it took me maybe a day or two to actually get out of the shock and start to understand, see what is going on around me. I remember that I look and I see those terrorists, sitting, talking to each other, laughing with each other. And I said to myself, those are human beings like me. But I just couldn't grasp and understand how could it be that a human being can do something so horrible to some other human being. I thought about how can somebody just take me from my home, take my parents, my grandmother, my fiance, and just be okay with that. And it kept haunting me, and I just couldn't do anything, couldn't do any interaction with them at the beginning that was more than just a simple interaction, go to the bathroom or say thank you for the food they give. But I just wanted this barrier to break. And I was lucky enough that I got my answer, at least some of it, at a very early stage in my captivity. I've been in a house, an apartment, and the owner of this apartment was also one of the terrorists that were guarding me. And one day he decided to bring his little girl to the home, to the apartment. I remember that the first time he brought her, she entered the house behind her father's leg. Immediately when she saw me, she hid behind her father's leg. Her father approached me until it was close enough for her to feel comfortable. Introduced her to me as, this is the hostage, Israeli. My name was Yusuf in captivity. So she comes from behind her father's leg, comes and hit me in my right leg, and goes and hide back behind her father's leg. And I was shocked, like, why did she hit me? But I also wasn't so surprised. And he interacted with her in Arabic and translated me in English, asking, what was that? What happened? So he said, because you are Israeli, because you are Jew, she hit you. And I told her, it's okay, but don't hit him because he is fine. Like, don't hit him. I said, okay, fine. And then she left. He brought her more and more times. And little by little, she started to be used to me. She started to sit with me, even play with me sometimes. She got used to being with me without her father near her, so we go and do some things in the house, and then we stay with her while he was doing those things. And after a month or so, we were sitting on the floor. My mother was on the floor always, and we were sitting there, my father and I. And suddenly, without, I don't know, any reason, she came, stood up, approached me, smiled at me, fell on me, on my chest, gave me a hug and a kiss on the cheek. And I was amazed. It was like, wow. First of all, it was the first sign of affection that I felt after a very long time. But the other thing was that, I don't know, like a month ago, and the weirdest thing was that it wasn't just this. While I was there with her, her father would teach us both lessons about why Israel is bad, why Jews are bad and mistrusted, and why we conquer their land, and why we deserve to be killed for that. And he would give her the flag of Islamic Jihad to wave, and they chant songs about destroying Israel, killing Jews. And even though she decided to do that, and her father was so surprised, he was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And she just lifted her head up from my chest and smiled at him. And he was like, "Do you love him?" And she nodded. And it was like, for me, after I left this house, it was very, after a week maybe, I left this house to another place. I kept in my mind this little girl because I thought about her, and I thought to myself, what a shame, first of all, that she will grow up and she will forget this encounter. She forget who I am. She forget the love and affection she felt for me, and probably will be very hateful. And her father was very proud about what he's teaching her, and was looking forward for the future of her being hateful towards Israeli Jews. And the other thing is, and I said, she's just a little girl. She doesn't differentiate between what her father is teaching her and between her real emotions. But in the end, the education will prevail, and unfortunately, she will forget the emotion. So this was my interaction.
Sapir, well, you were released, and maybe even before, thinking about
me. And she had nothing, like her only child was in the captivity, her husband murdered. I decided that the most meaningful thing that I can do is to be like a family for her. And I decided to move to the same hotel that she lived, to be with her. And it wasn't easy. I remember that she came to me and she said, "Sapir, it's too much for me, I don't want to live anymore." And I didn't know what to do, so I decided to promise her grandchildren. First it was twins, girls. And I took her to shops for little babies to see clothes, and I told her, "You see, this is her taste like their mother." Goodbye, and I remember that they cried. I told them, "Why are you crying? It's a deal. So today I go back, tomorrow it will be you." But they told me, "But Sapir, what if not? What if there is something that's more important than us?" And they talk a lot about Gilad Shalit, the soldier that stayed in the captivity for 5 years. And unfortunately, they came back just in the last deal after 2 years, 2 of them. So I came back, and I remember the way. So the Red Cross, it was just like a taxi from place to place, but